channel. I'm Beth Elland. Today we are going to be working on a no hands flow. So we're not going to be practicing any downward facing dog or any putting any weight on our wrists. So good if you have injuries in this area. I will be offering a shoulder stretch or two, one which will be interlacing our hands behind our back. So if you're working with an injury in the shoulder or wrist, just leave that part out. And other than that, listen to your body. If anything doesn't feel good, don't practice it. And that is perfectly fine. You don't need any props, but if you have a block, it might be nice. What we're going to do a supported bridge pose at the end. Yeah, this practice, we're going to work on some balancing poses, some strength and stability, and at the end, we'll do a few restorative postures. So let's get right into it. Let's stand at the top of the mat, feet parallel, hip distance apart. Tadasana, shine your palms forward, roll the shoulder blades back. Close the eyes if it's comfortable for you. And take a few deep breaths here. And welcome yourself to the mat. And breathing deep in and out through the nose. Feeling the belly fill up with air. And in this Tadasana pose, let's find center. So to do that, we'll just lean in all four directions first, and then find the center point. So lean your weight more into the right foot. Then into the balls of your feet, lean forward a bit. Lean to the left, most of the weight into the left foot now. And then lean back into the heels. And find that perfect center point in between all of these. Pressuring into all four corners of both feet. Keep the chest lifted, shoulders over hips, and hips over the ankles. On your next in-breath, bring your arms up overhead. Meet them at prayer. And exhale, bring that prayer hands down to your chest. Taking about 3 more deep breaths here. And reshift the weight back into your right foot. On your next inhale, bring your left knee up towards your chest. If your eyes are still closed, this is going to be really challenging. I would say open the eyes and find something to gaze at that's not moving. Finding the center point in that right foot. And keeping the left foot flexed. And keep breathing. And on your next exhale, just lower that left foot back down and find center again. And on your next in-breath, we'll bring all of your weight into the left foot now. And your next in-breath, bring your right knee up towards your chest, keeping that foot flexed, finding that balance point, the in-between point of all four corners of the left foot. Breathe in, and as you exhale, lower that right foot back down. Finding center once more. Now leaning into your right foot again. Inhale, bring your left foot up, knee up. And on your next exhale, step it back into a high lunge. So step all the way back to the back of your mat. Feet should still be about hip-width distance apart, like they're on railroad tracks. Hold your balance, hold that weight. Your center of gravity has shifted backwards, but you're still nice and strong, sturdy. Still have that focal point in front of you. Hands can stay at prayer, or you can lift them up overhead. One more deep breath in and out. And your next inhale, straighten that front leg and bring that back heel down so that your back foot is about 45 degrees. So your toes are pointed towards the long edge of your mat. Your feet are still about hip width. If you need to shift this foot outwards a little bit, you can do that. Bring your hands to your hips. Both your hips should be facing forward. Inhale deeply, hands on the hips, and exhale, hinge from the hips forward, pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Shoulders stay in line with the hips. Your spine should be in one nice line from the tail to the crown of the head. Two more breaths here. And next inhale, bring your torso back up. Exhale, rebend that front foot, but leave this back heel down. Now you're in your warrior one stance. You can bring your hands to prayer or up overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer at your chest. Lift that back heel back up, coming back into your high lunge. And let your next in-breath bring you back to the top of the mat. So inhale, come back up. Maybe lift that knee back up. And exhale, foot comes back down, Tadasana. Doing any micro movements that feel good. Maybe a deep breath in through the nose and exhale, sigh out the mouth. Make a little vocalization there. We'll do that same thing on the other side. So leaning your weight onto the left foot. Inhale, bring that right knee up and in. Exhale, step it back, high lunge. Finding your balance, maintaining here. tailbone down, hip points come up towards the chin, front knee directly over the ankle. Inhale, straighten that front foot, plant that back heel down, maybe toe heel that front foot outwards a little bit towards the left. Inhale, hands on your hip. Exhale, hinge forward, pyramid pose. Breathe deep into that left hamstring. Next inhale, bring your torso back up. Exhale, bend into that front knee, keeping that back heel down. Warrior one. Virabhadrasana one. Hip points still pointed forward. That back thigh should be turning inwards. Again, with this pose as well, hands at prayer or hands up overhead or even hands on hips, whatever feels good for you right now. Another breath in, and then lift your back heel up, come back to your high lunge. Inhale, exhale, and your next in-breath brings you to the top of the mat. Lift that knee back up, and exhale, lower your foot back down. One more deep breath. We're going to add on a little bit here. Going to add on a tree pose. So let's shift the weight into your right foot. Inhale, lift that left knee up. And exhale, tree pose. So if you're not familiar, you'll want to bring the sole of your left foot to the inseam of that right leg. You can press your foot and your leg into each other to help you find your balance, as well as your point of focus that you're staring at to help you keep your balance. Inhale, bring your knee back up. Exhale, step back, high lunge. Arms up overhead. And if you want to take a twist, take your left hand forward, right arm back, and twist from the navel over towards the right side of the room. Keep your abs pulled up and in. Inhale, come out of it. Exhale, palms come back down to your chest. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Plant that back heel. And for your pyramid pose, if you want to keep your arms up overhead or in a cactus shape, you can do that for a little bit of an added challenge. Exhale, fold forward. Makes it a little bit more top heavy. Inhale, bring the torso back up. Exhale, bend that front knee. Warrior one. And you can just hold this warrior pose if you're dealing with an injury in the shoulder. Otherwise, you can interlace your hands behind your back. Take a big inhale and exhale, fold forward. Humble warrior. Try not to lean onto that front thigh. Just kind of fold into the side, into the left side of that thigh. And let that fist come up to give you a little bit of shoulder stretch, keeping the shoulders up and away from the ears. So they're rolled down back behind the heart. And release the grip of the hands. Inhale, hands at the hips, and bring your torso back up. Take another round of breath here. Inhale, bring that back heel up. Come back to your high lunge. And your next in-breath brings you to the top of the mat. Knee comes up. And exhale, plant that foot back down. And take a few deep breaths here. And prepare for the other side. And so let's lean our weight into the left foot. Inhale, bring that right knee up. And exhale, tree pose, Vrksasana. Your next in-breath, bring your knee back up and in. And exhale, high lunge. Abs firm, shoulders rolled back. Gaze is steady. Maybe arms up overhead. And if you want to take a twist here, right arm forward, left arm back, twisting from the navel. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer at the heart. Inhale, straighten that front knee, plant the back heel, and prepare for your version of pyramid pose. If you want to bring the arms up overhead, cactus shape, or just at the hips. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. On your next in-breath, bring your torso back up. Exhale, bend that front knee. Warrior one. And prepare for humble warrior if you took it on the first side. Interlace your hands behind your back. Roll the shoulder blades back. Shine the heart forward. Inhale deeply. And exhale, hinge forward from the hips. And let that fist come up overhead. Exhale, release the palm, or release the clasp of the hands, and inhale. Bring your torso back up. 2 big deep breaths here. Inhale, lift the back heel up, high lunge. And after another breath or two, let an inhale bring you back to the top of the mat. And exhale, plant your foot back down. Tadasana. Hands at prayer, where you can drop your arms, let your palms shine forward, bask in any energy that you've stirred up. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. And on your next inhale, look your arms around and up overhead. Reach the crown of the head away from the floor. And exhale, hinge forward from the hips. And fold. Uttanasana. A ragdoll fold. Maybe sway side to side if it feels good. And let your head hang heavy. Mm. Inhale, lift halfway so your spine is parallel with the mat. Maybe placing your hands on your shins. Exhale, stay here. And next inhale, come all the way back up. Reaching the arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands come to prayer at the chest. And bring your feet a little bit wider than hip width. Heels in, toes out. So your toes will be pointed towards the long edges of the mat. And I'll turn to face you to show you. We're going to do Malasana or Yogi Squat. So inhale, then exhale, bend your knees, keep your spine nice and straight, and come down as far as is comfortable for you. If you can come all the way down and bring the elbows in between the knees to help open up the hips a bit, that can be done. If you can't come down this far, that's fine. If you want to sit on a block here, you can do that also. If you have your block nearby, sit down on the block so you can work on opening up the hips and keeping the spine nice and straight, releasing the low back here. Crown of the head still reaching away from the tail. Take 1 more round of breath here. And on an exhale, gently bring your seat down to the mat. If you're moving the block, if you were using it, and come into an easy seat. If crossed legs is easy for you, do that. If it's better for you to sit on your heels, you can do that as well. Inhale, reach your arms out in a T. Reach, reach. And exhale, bring your right arm under the left and bring your fingertips along the shoulder blades. Again, if you have a shoulder injury, you can just practice long, slow, deep breathing without doing this posture. If you're in this posture, you can lift your elbows slightly to find a deeper stretch. If you know Garudasana arms, you can take that here. Always just take a few breaths like this. On your next inhale, unwrap the arms. Reach them back out, chest forward, shoulders back. And exhale, left arm underneath, right arm over. Oh, grab onto the shoulders here, very gently. Maybe lifting the elbows slightly or skipping this entirely. Now on your next inhale, reach your arms back out. And exhale, hands come down onto the thighs, palms face up. You roll out the shoulders if that feels good. Or you can bring your right ear to the right shoulder and dip your chin to your chest. And then roll your left ear to your left shoulder. And slowly moving back and forth. And come back to center. Transition to lie down on your back. So just bring your feet out to the side. And use your arms a little bit here to lower yourself down one vertebra at a time. Have your block close by. We're going to do our reclined bridge. So lift your hips up. You'll push your feet into the mat. Feet are directly under the knees here. Your fingers can pretty much touch your heels. And push your feet into the mat to lift the hips up. Place the block underneath the hips. And then lower your hips onto the block here. And you can rest with your palms face up or down, whatever feels good. If you don't have your block or if this is uncomfortable for you, you can simply bring your feet as wide as the mat and dip your knees in to touch. This should feel good for the low back. So whatever you're doing today, just know that it's perfect. Make sure your shoulders are nice and relaxed. If they're up too close to your ears, just roll them down. And 5 deep breaths here. Feel the belly rise and fall with the breath. In your next out breath, push your feet back into the mat to lift your hips up so you can move the block out of the way and gently lower the hips back down one vertebra at a time. And bring your feet as wide as the mat. Get your knees into touch. And you place one hand on your belly, one hand on the chest. Closing the eyes if it feels good. One more deep breath. We'll do another restorative pose, bringing your feet back in towards the center. I'm going to do a waterfall pose. So just bring both feet up, straight up. You can also do this against the wall. So if you sit with your seat against the wall, you can lean your feet against the wall there. Otherwise, just kind of balance your legs until they're weightless. I always think of the circus acts where they have the sticks and they're balancing the plates on top of it. Kind of make your legs weightless in that type of way where they're perfectly balanced over your hips. And give them a little rest. And if you are against the wall, just lean them against the wall so they're weightless. And that way the wall is supporting you. Taking a few breaths, letting all the blood flowing from your feet up towards the heart and the head, giving them a little break too. And they fight with gravity all day, trying to get the blood. And whenever you feel ready, you can bend your knees. If you're against the wall, you can stay there for a while if you like. Always re-extend your legs into Shavasana. Corpse pose, our final resting pose. Let your feet relax, kind of dangle off to either side. Relax the calves, relaxing the thighs, let the hips relax. And making any micro adjustments to make the low back feel good. Take up space here if it's available to you. Let your palms be face up. Let your chest sink back into the mat. Plenty of space for the neck. And the back of the head is heavy. Jaws relaxed. The space in between the eyebrows relax. Come into a space of ease. You have nothing to do for the next couple of minutes. Be. Notice how you feel after the practice. Take note of any lingering tension and try to release it more and more with each exhale. Taking 7 deep breaths here in Shavasana. You can stay in Shavasana as long as you like, as long as you can. If you're ready to come out, you can wiggle your fingers and toes. Reach your arms up overhead. Bring your feet back to the mat. Roll over to one side. And gently push yourself up in whatever way you can today. Take a seat. Cross legs or sitting on the heels, whatever's comfortable. Hands rest in the lap, palms face up. Once again, observing how you feel after the shift from Shavasana. Breathing deep into the belly. And you can bring the palms together again, a prayer at the heart center. Offer yourself gratitude for coming to the mat today. Now close our practice by chanting Om one time. You're welcome to join if you like. Inhale deeply to chant Om. Bowing forward. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you feel really good after this class. Really a lot of energy and then kind of ground it in with those restorative poses. I hope it felt good. Please let me know in the comments how it made you feel. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you don't already. And I will see you in the next video. Namaste.